Unfortunately, guys, we are already rapidly approaching our top of descent today. For an approach and landing into New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made. Sorry. So we're landing on runway 13 left, and we're going to do the visual approach. So on the visual approach, we need to route directly to a place called Canarsie, which is a VOR, such as CRI. CRI. And we need to overfly Canarsie at an altitude of, looking at the textual data, 2,000 feet until clear of Rockaway Point. So actually it's, so it's 1,500 feet over Canarsie. /1500. We're going to go fully manual after Canarsie. I'm going to overfly Canarsie at 185 knots. Execute. Drag required after Canarsie, that's fine. We'll actually drop 13 left and straight after Canarsie. So you can see it's 5 miles, which is kind of the speed we'd be running in at. Yeah, okay, I get you right. I get it, FMC, you want drag after Canarsie. And our VREF today will be flaps 30. And my Google Chrome's crashed, which is kind of concerning because that's where what my charts are. Okay, I've just minimised the sim by accident. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, my Google Chrome couldn't deal with the ideas there. Sorry, guys. As I say, I'm just kind of got a bit on the distracted side. So what we can pretend to do is just stick ourselves straight down to 1,500 feet when we come to the top of descent. Actually, what's the next altitude restriction? Yeah, literally 1,500. It's the only firm one. So we can aim straight for that. 1,500. The aircraft's going to start dropping pretty shortly. So, Inish ref, I've hit that in. I'm just making sure I've got everything. Descent, that's the set. We've passed transition, so I may as well just do a QNH check. There we go, QNH checked. It's very badly dodgy. Okay, let's just zoom out and work out how far out we actually are. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say direct to Canarsie. I'm just going to make the sim go, wow, what do you want me to, what are you doing, you idiot? But we're going to go direct to Canarsie because it's a quiet day, and again, if it's a quiet day they'll give you direct twos like this, which come pretty handy. System was all set up correctly. We can do a brake function for this landing. And speed brakes are armed. I'll talk you guys through the approach to get that. I'm using the new New York scenery by that Polish design company that no one can pronounce their name. It's kind of a fatal flaw, isn't it, if you're naming a company? No one can pronounce your company name. Okay, ignition's continuous. Logo's not required. That's all as required. Landing lights not required as of this time. APU, that's staying off at the minute. Packs set correctly, that's set correctly. Landing altitude is within 10 feet of accurate. I mean, yeah, it's staying at 50. That's looking correct. Seatbelts, come on. And how long have we got till landing? Probably about 10 minutes. Yep. So, cabin crew, 10 minutes landing. Cabin crew, 10 minutes landing. Thank you. Bing bong. What happened to my screen? Did I flick the switch? I must have flicked the switch at some stage. I wonder when that happened. I was having some issues with it because I actually had to reload the aircraft mid-flight, which is why some of the bugs are in different positions. Like this one, for example. I'm going to have to start losing some speed pretty shortly. So as I said, it's a visual approach. I actually spoke to a British Airways 777 pilot, and you know, one of it was kind of like through college when I was there at the time. One of the questions somebody asked him was, "What's the hardest approach, or the hardest landing you've done?" I said, "Oh, it's that one into New York. I can't remember the name of it. Is it the Canarsie Visual?" "Yes, that one." I've seen this done in larger aircraft, so I can do it in this with that much ado. As I've said, what we're going to do is we're going to overfly Canarsie, intercepting Canarsie, overflying that at 1,500. Over on the right we'll see an airfield, which is the Brooklyn Sea Gas, which was actually New York's first airport, but it's now closed. And then we fly down parallel with the Shore Parkway, descending down and intercepting for a landing on runway 13 left. Now there's a number of light points, which I don't know if they're simulated, so I'm going to have to kind of keep going between the sim and the chart to work out roughly where they are. IRL, weather is required, but we've got all the weather requirements at this stage. I'm kind of tempted to go 13 right as well, because I'm going to go 13 right. That doesn't really affect this particular large amount. Not 3-1, 1-3. There we go. Literally just affects the whole thing by about half a mil. It's basically means we've got to really manage our airspeed once we get down low. Sorry guys, I'm trying to control the singing thing. Sorry, I'm just getting on the distracted side. I can't allow myself to get distracted at this stage, because it's quite, as I said, it's a very challenging approach procedure. It's all visual and I've got to look out the window, so I'm going to pull this down. It doesn't cause any FPS drop, and it looks awesome. That's kind of like my stipulations right now. So that's 10,000 feet we're passing, so landing lights, turn-offs, taxis, everything on. Cabin crew, 5 minutes landing, cabin crew, 5 minutes landing. Thank you. 5-minute warning, they should now be getting buckled up. When we overfly Canarsie, I'll give them the double bing bong, which means sit down now, or you're going to get hurt. I think we've quite a lot of fuel on board. It's actually pretty close to what the what the flight plan thought we were going to burn, but still. Gross weight's 130,000 pounds, landing speed flat over 141 knots. So we should manage that without much ado. Yeah, we're doing not too badly right now. What I actually can do is get Canarsie tuned in as a nav aid. Canarsie done 112.3. Alright. 112.3. And that then gives us nav 1 on this Canarsie. And then I just go nav 1 VOR. And then I get 47 as my course bug. That's kind of the angle at what we should be intercepting it from. So I am going to, once we get a bit closer in, manoeuvre onto that radial. That's the radial we should be flying on, and it's 043, sorry. So it's actually a little bit less than that. And then on outbound it's 041, so I can put that into this side, right? Trust me, this works. 041, and then I'm going to switch nav 1 to Canarsie, so nav 2 to Canarsie on 112.3. This is actually one I saw done as like a video kind of tutorial thing. This is how they did it. And so it's probably the easiest way to do it. And it just gives us a little bit of a fallback should we not go visual in time. It's a shame you can't switch off, like one of the nav radios. Also, my flight director went off for some reason. Imagine the first officers did too. Yes, of course it did. Right. We're at 29 miles from Canarsie. Auto brakes too. I'm pretty happy. It's a 10,000 foot runway, but it's quite a steep turn to final as well. So you know we're going to be. It's 14,000 foot now. We need it's like auto brake 1 if anything. Spoilers are already armed. Speed's not back enough yet. It'll be a fun approach. I'm kind of tempted to do it in flat 15 just to make it more manageable, because we're coming in at a slightly higher speed. Let's do it flat 15. Flat 15. No, flat 15, not flat 40. It'll make it a little bit more of a bump when we do make the landing finally, but it'll be a bit more of an enjoyable bump. So I perceive it to be. Right, hitting select. So put VOR on. And just say VOR lock. That'll then find intercept. Of the inbound 047 radio, hopefully. That's what we're basically hoping for right now. Yeah, we've got a few miles to fly at this kind of range. What I'll actually do is I'll just turn us, keep us on about this sort of a heading, which means we'll overfly it at about the right time. And then we'll hopefully intercept on which one we're going to intercept again. I've got to check that before I go back to map mode. Course 043, that's fine. We can even swing it to 041 on the outbound and give it a little bit of a confusion, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. We could like put altitude rings in and all sorts, and I could show you how to do that, but it's... Yeah, that actually over there, it's a pretty clear day. That there's Rockaway Point, that's our 2,000 foot descent point, I think. Anyway, I hope. JFK's over that way. And that's where we're going to, because we're going to fly home from JFK in a 747-400, hopefully. Should it decide to work, because it didn't work before. Yeah, we're starting to get some FPS drop, because that's New York over there. We need to do a heli tour over Manhattan before we go home. That's going to have to be a thing. Yeah, we're starting to intercept it now, which is good. And capture it soon, and then we'll be good. You can see, yeah, the point is near enough on the right kind of angle thing, mabob. Still 19 miles away though. It's fine though, because as I say, we want to be down at. I'm actually going to set 2,000 feet as the bug, and then just fletch. Yeah, level change. And then I think we can actually do it coming in a lot quicker than we think we can. In the larger jets, they recommend you do it with like coming in over Canarsie fully configured. But I think since we're in a 7.3 and we are quite lightly laden, we can do it coming in faster. That's concerning. Yeah, if that doesn't work, we have got a problem on our hands, because we need to be able to see where we're going. Oh, it's come back, it's fine. Yeah, so that over there is the Brooklyn Airport I was telling you about, CGAS. So Canarsie is roughly there, and we kind of fly around that bay, and then land at JFK, which is that blurry thing. That's what the theory says. Not quite sure what the practice will say, but we'll find out. You can see it's a 90-degree turn to final as well. It's going to be quite good fun. I'm just making sure I've got everything. FPS drop. Yeah, that's what's causing the FPS drop. I'm going to look that way out to see, because the FPS drop will be not as bad. Looks at New York. Oh, lag. Single figure frames. Yeah, I'm not even used to that anymore. I mean, look, it is really pretty though. You've got to admit it's pretty. I'd love to see my VAS rate right now. Let's actually try and find that. Wow, my VAST rate, I just caught a glimpse of it there. It's at 2.5 already. We are going to probably OOM before we land, which would be sad, but necessitated. Alright, 8 miles from Canarsie. Overflying Canarsie, I'm going to probably stand on the brakes then, because at this present descent rate we're actually not doing too badly. And there's the runway we're landing on. I think my cursor is visible on the screen, so I can kind of point to things like that. That should be fun. Okay, so all our landing lights are on. Actually, fun fact as well, this retractables switch is actually not on a lot of the brand new 737s, because they're all built into the wing root right now. And people are saying, is PMDG going to bring an update out for that? I've got to say, I think if you require an update to remove those two switches, you really take flight sim too seriously. Yeah, I think if they do a rework 737, then okay, but you know, landing light switches, really? For real, dude? That's 2,000 feet. That's rockaway pump overflying now, so we can go down to 1,500. BS. 500 feet per minute. And power can come back to flap on manoeuvring now, which is roughly 2.5, 2.3, 2.4. Okay, nice and specific numbers there. You kind of get the feeling like you're barreling into the situation far too soon, far too fast, far too everything. Right, 148 was the landing speed. Speed brake out. Gear down. Flap 1. If the flaps actually moved there, yes they did. Flap 2. Flap 5. Rums! I screwed up! Right, well this will be the parkway because we can follow the bridges. Unfortunately the scenery's not rendering in quickly enough. And if I pause it... Nah, it's not gonna... The sim's running out of memory, that's the problem. Because I had to reload the aircraft mid-cruise, so that's killed a bit of VAS off. Yeah, speed's bleeding off very nicely now. Flap 10, flap 15, that's landing flat. And the rest of it's all sorted now. Okay, autopilot off. Maintaining the body over water as much as I can, just so that we don't get laggedy lags. I'm kind of roughly, I can roughly see where I want us to land right now. Flaps 15 we're configured. Spoilers and armed. Spoilers in. Armed. There we go. Now we're landing 1-3 right as I said, because that's the easy one to make. We're stable. Check. We're going Kai-Tak. Check. Okay, auto throttle. I'm going to turn that off halfway through the turn, I think. Because I want it to be able to sustain me through the manoeuvre. Paranoia. I can see my turn's going to work out, but paranoia that I'm going to either get overblown and end up in a terminal, or end up too low. Auto throttle off, power off. We're alright, we're alright. We're to the right of set line, but we're alright. I'm not going to touchdown yet. Okay, I think we're touchdown. We're not using auto reverse thrust because we've got enough braking coming from the auto brakes. Knots. Yeah, it was probably a mismanaged approach and a half. And we'll vacate next left. somewhere. Trying to work out what pulls the flaps up, because I know I redid all the bindings and they're different to what they used to be. I'm going to have to stop once I get... That's not a taxi. That's a taxiway, yeah. The anti-aliasing is kind of gone a bit skew with at the minute. I'm just going to go straight in front and go for one of these, this terminal here. Mainly on the grounds that I need to stop, because that was freaky. I know the scenery really did degrade through the later stage of that approach, and I was struggling to find visuals to work there. Alright, this isn't a terminal. Oh, that's awkward. Looks like a maintenance area. Well, the aircraft was needed to go in for maintenance anyway, and what they've actually done is they've put us here so that the passengers are going to get taken to the terminal on a bus, and we're going to get the aircraft maintained, because it needs it, basically. And it's refusing to turn. Park brake. Now I'm just going to get ground power connection immediately. Menu, FS actions, ground connections, chocks, ground power. And then going to connect ground power. Switch off that. Switch this off. Switch both engines off. And switch that to on. That's it. That's us sorted out and arrived. Yeah, switch those off, didn't I? Yeah, I did. And anti-collisions. That's off or on? Can't actually tell right now. I've just turned it back on. Oh well. So guys, as I said, thanks for tuning in. We've made it to New York. Just about. With the most phenomenal frame drop ever. We're currently like 1 FPS. But hey, we made it. Our parking's not even too terrible. The nose wheel's on the centre line, right? No one else can get into one of the stands around here, but we got in. So I don't care. But as I say, folks, thanks for watching. Sorry about the mismanaged approach into New York. See you next time.